There are times where a prayer struggle, when it comes to consistency, is just an issue of discipline. I get that. Here's what I'm finding. It's not always an issue of discipline. It is sometimes an issue of disruption. And this is something I think we got to admit. Now, here's my calling. My calling is to take biblical truth, to turn it into practical wisdom and help people apply it to real life. I don't believe you're deep unless you can do it, right? I don't believe we're spiritually deep if we can quote it. That just means you got a good memory. And so sometimes it's hard to be consistent, not because somebody's not disciplined, but because of disruption. When I say disruption, what I mean that there are seasons in people's lives and professional careers that bring a degree of disruption to their life that make praying every day at a certain time in a certain place more complicated than other seasons. Now, before you push back on me and tell me, early shall I seek the Lord, I'm not anti that. What I am saying is this: the prioritization of prayer becomes more complex when people are in seasons of disruption. How can a person be consistent when their schedule is unpredictable? The answer is found right in that 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 16 through 18. Paul says these words. He says, "Rejoice always, pray continually, and in everything give thanks." So that pray continually is what we want to hone in on, because that continually, the word he uses refers to like a reoccurring cough. So here's what he's saying. He is saying, pray continually. He say, pray like someone who has a cough they can't get rid of. So if I say I've been coughing all day, that doesn't mean that from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I've been coughing nonstop. It means all throughout the day, between the hours of whenever I'm up, I have been coughing. So it speaks to this regular, intermittent coughing. And so what Paul is saying when he says pray continually, he's not saying just have this one particular isolated singular conversation with God. What he is saying is throughout the course of your day, there should be coughing. There should be regular communication with God the Father. I'm not saying that we don't have set times and set places for prayer. What I am saying is there are going to be times when that is disrupted. And even when it is not disrupted, praying continually or without ceasing isn't one singular conversation. It is this willingness to engage the Father all throughout the day. And that can address the consistency issue. But consistency isn't the only issue. There's another prayer struggle, and that is the struggle to be persistent. It's one thing to be consistent, which is the regularity with which I pray. It's another thing to be persistent, and that is the willingness to keep on praying about certain things. In Luke 18, Jesus tells this whole parable for the entire purpose of teaching his disciples to pray and not give up. An entire parable for that singular purpose, that his disciples will pray and not give up, because he's teaching them persistence in prayer.